Hello, welcome to Conversations for the Moving Self. I am your host, Megan, a lifelong movement artist and facilitator. Each week, I invite you inside of the honest conversations that I have been having with some incredibly inspiring movement and well-being practitioners, as we unpack the beautiful roller coaster it is to pursue a lifestyle built around movement and well-being. Join us as we share and reflect on the moments where a movement lights your soul on fire, to the situations where you begin to question everything. Welcome to episode 7 of Conversations for the Moving Self. Today I'm welcoming on Anna Smutny from Montreal. We had an incredible moment to meet this summer at a yoga retreat space in Greece. And I think it's somewhere that we both hold a lot of special memories. But also, I had the opportunity to train with Anna during that week and just connect on movement practices and share some conversations that
Mhm.
I just felt very quickly like I need to keep Anna around in my life. I need to keep following along on her journey. I was so inspired by the way she brings in her full authentic self into a space, and you can sense this itch inside of her to just continue to discover more about herself, more about movement, and invite other movers into that journey in a way that supports people to take risks, to be vulnerable, and to feel safe in that process. So I was super excited to bring her along today. She is a yoga teacher with a background in dance, comes from a big movement family, helps run a yoga studio in Montreal called Fira, and has 3 kids who are active and curious movers. So super
Mhm.
excited to have you here today, Anna.
Thank you. Thank you so much for
Well,
inviting me.
so happy you're here. Uh, we'll start today with how you're showing up for your movement and well-being practice today.
Um, okay. Hi. Thank you for having me, by the way. Um, I, first of all, I've been at this yoga studio for 20 years. And so every day when I come, before I come to teach my 2 classes, I usually have time to do my own private practice. So that could be, just it could even be like half an hour, but sometimes 90 minutes. And it usually includes like definitely reading. Like I always have like 3 yoga books um, on hand, and I have a bunch of daily kind of, like a horoscope, let's say, like you read your horoscope, but I have like several different sources. Like I check out my personal like astrology for the day, but I also check like the collective. Um, what
Mhm.
are some of like the questions that we can be working on, that sort of thing. So I usually start from there. I do like a little meditation, and then I start preparing practices for the day, like whether it's the back bends or twists, or if I want to work more on like a contemplation, like a certain, like today's a full moon. So I was trying to work, like prepare classes for the energy of this harvest moon. And it's all about, it's like courage. Like those are some of the prompts I've been hearing to cultivate more courage and kind of face our fears. So did a lot of back bending.
Mm.
Just try to open up. And yeah, it's been a while now that I try to practice like a yoga practice every day. So that's usually like 60 minutes or 90 minutes. And like I'll take somebody else's class. And I'm super lucky to be surrounded by awesome teachers. So, you can't go wrong if you're going at 7 a.m. or 8:30 or 2 o'clock, whatever. You're in good hands and you get to practice. And then, yeah, so I took a class this morning and then I prepped for my classes and then I just taught 2 classes before talking to you.
Amazing. Yeah, as you were speaking, it made me wonder when around this moment of as a teacher and facilitator and with quite a busy schedule in terms of teaching, when how do I word the question? I guess,
Mm,
as you're training to be a yoga teacher or a movement teacher of any practice, really, a lot
mm,
of times it comes from a personal practice and love for the movement
mhm.
form. And then maybe the teaching comes in and it's the balance is become unbalanced. And I wondered like how you've been navigating that, like when this habit of being able to practice every morning for yourself came in and how you continue to set the boundaries to prioritize that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, great, great question. Um, First of all, I have 3 kids, so I've had to
Mhm.
stay out of the teepee many times. There's been a few years where I could not make it to a regular, full class at a studio. Just, it was hard enough to get to just work, you know.
Yeah.
Um, Although during pregnancy and when I had mat leave, I was able to rent studio space for each kid and actually just get to like bring my kid into studio and work on my more like movement research stuff, not necessarily yoga, but which was wonderful. But then coming back like to a full-time work schedule with 3 kids, it took a while to get to this place where I could come and practice every day. And honestly, it comes at a need. Like I just hit a point where I was like, if I don't do this, I'm kind of miserable. So um yeah, I had to face a little bit of guilt, like that I'm paying for a babysitter on the weekends, um, so I could go practice. But I really see it gives you so much more steadiness. So if you have the means, like financially, and you have the support, I had to build like a network, like just that's more like my mommy stuff, like people who could
Yeah.
help watch my kids so I could go. But not only does it, obviously influence how you teach and how you share teaching, I always think like if you can take other people's classes, it's going to give you a lot of information on how to be a better teacher yourself. But just for your own well-being, to remember like that's the main way we learn is through our own practice. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine as well. I'm not a mother, but I can imagine that like it also allows you to show up more as a parent in those moments, like when you have been able to cultivate the time for yourself and yeah, I can imagine it's a journey to navigate, but like the thing of filling the cup to be able to
Yeah.
give and pour out
Yeah.
and that goes in all directions and
Totally.
yeah, I think it's incredible to have built that into your schedule now and yeah, it's inspiring. I continue to find the ways that a movement practice can stay consistent in my life and yeah, I
Mm.
think it's important. Amazing.
It's like it sounds like a small thing, but it's pretty big. Like it's pretty big. Like
Yeah.
it's like that longest story of your life, really. It's like, wait a minute, actually we've been training since we're 3. like, yeah, I used to train 40 hours a week, then, there's moments where you don't, but even when it's just like your little warm-ups on your mat, doing a little like core work or a little stretch or a little leg dance on the wall, like all of these things kind of they keep you in there until finally you decide, okay, I need this. At least me, I need this formal hour. I need this
Yes.
formal hour where I'm
Yes.
in a place where I don't see my shit in my room, and I'm just like not distracted by the to-do list, and I'm allowed to just be here, even if the
Mm.
actual practice is simple. Sometimes it's not, but um
Yeah. I know
I
what
rely
you,
on that a lot.
yeah. And even like this thing of being able to come out of your like room or home space, and
Yeah.
it's something I'm noticing as I'm in a new chapter. Like I found a nice little corner in the studio that I teach that I can, no matter what time I arrive, it seems to be free. And so every day of the week I try to go earlier than the class to give me that time. And but it being out of the house, I think is making it such a easier thing to commit to,
Yeah,
which is yeah. Yeah, but also maybe it's also this clean space, clean mind concept.
helps,
Yeah.
like that blank page, like
Yes.
that blank page. Yeah.
Yes. Uh, as you continue to share, I wondered like when movement came into your life, and yeah, I guess when movement came into your life, and then what practices, what the journey was within practice movement practices and things for you.
Okay. I'm from Toronto originally, and I started ballet at 3 and just never stopped and just like followed that sort of like how it goes. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
just kept going. And I think, yeah, by the age of 12 or whatever, I was doing at least 12 hours a week. And then from it was a pretty serious ballet school, and then they kind of like brought in modern and contempt dance, and they had like youth ensembles that were performing. Um, and then like in the teenage years, I started choreographing with my good dance friend, and we were way more into like hip hop and breaking, and we choreographed a lot of kind of like a mix, but mainly the main places that we were performing for, like festivals or shows, were for hip hop. And yeah, like I often say, like a lot of great things came to me at a young age. And I don't know if I was always so, like you're just going through, you don't realize that it's like all these incredible opportunities and teachers and performances happened at a really young age. So like even we were she was from Jamaica, and we got to do some hip hop breakdancing shows down there at
Cool.
14. It was pretty
Oh.
amazing within the Toronto community as well. And so yeah, it was pretty full time throughout high school. And then after high school, I moved to Greece for a few years, and I trained in Athens, and I did try to get into the state school, and I didn't get in. And so I decided to come back to Canada to go to the choreography program at Concordia in Montreal. And I did that, got a BFA there, and it was amazing. Totally loved that school. And after I finished school in Montreal, I got more work in Montreal than in Toronto. So I stayed in Montreal as a dancer, little bit of choreographing, but mainly as an interpreter. And and that was like all the styles, like whatever
Mhm.
whenever you would show up, they would tell you like what, you know,
We'll find out.
everything all together. Um, and slowly, like yoga started to make its way into my life after university. Like during university and before, we would warm up with a little bit of yoga, and I was definitely familiar with like meditation practice, but I was never drawn to like asana. Like I always thought it was way too hard. I was like, this is so hard. Like, how do people love this? Even though I was doing other crazy hard stuff, like I just, yeah. And then I got to do my first yoga teacher training after university, and it was more philosophy. And then I could
Mm,
kind of understand the healing benefits of the movement, and that really spoke to me. And yeah, like I at some point I remember I think I was like 27 or something. I tried to move back to Greece and open a yoga studio in Athens. And so
okay.
I told the dance community in Montreal, I was like, I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna leave like the dance world. I didn't think for forever. I was just like, I got an opportunity to open something in Greece. Um, and I took the leap, and then like I sent all my stuff to Athens, and we found a location, and then the economic crisis hit, and we decided not to open the studio, that it wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
Um, in the meantime, like I went and continued my yoga studies, like in India, in Mexico, and so I was like deepening my knowledge. And I don't know if I should keep going, but basically, we decided to do a really big walk from the Czech Republic to Greece after the economic crisis. Like, because of that, like the austerity
Yeah.
measures that were happening in Greece, we did like a solidarity walk for the refugees in Athens. And that became part of my movement practice, like long distance walking. And
Yeah.
it was life changing. Like we walked, I don't know, 30 to some days 60 kilometers a day. And we offered like a free practice every day, a free yoga class every day. And it was very different because it was outside.
Yeah.
And it's like the same movement, like it's walking, but yeah, the distance and the types of challenges that came up in the body um, were super interesting. Like your feet blistered like in ballet, but it was different kind of blisters, and um, there was no one there to kind of rub your back. It was just like fix your own blisters. Let's go. Put your shoes on. Um, more rough, but still, like all my dance training was in there, like that mentality, like keep going, and it's just a blister, and it's okay. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, long distance walking, yeah, that changed me a lot and informed my practice. And when I finished that walk, oh yeah, all throughout I was kind of working a little bit with axis of syllabus and like the
Mm.
nomadic college and all of those guys. They happened to be at Greece at the end of that walk, and they kind of opened my mind up to like how to integrate walking with dance into performance in public spaces in Greece, about the refugees, like all the worlds were kind of coming together. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, it is. And So I think for a while, especially because I was influenced by street dance a lot, I questioned a lot, like, you know, does dance always have to be in theater? Does it have to be in the black box? All of that stuff. So um, this was just like another way of thinking about movement outside too, and like, yeah. Then
Yeah.
I, yeah, then I had three kids, and it all kind of changed. I had to be more, or not. I didn't have to be, but I decided to move back to Montreal and just uh, stay grounded and be here, and was very much open to that after the walk.
Mm,
Yeah, the walk kind of, yeah, changed me. So um,
mm,
sometimes I felt like, when you grow up as a dancer from a young age in a studio, a lot, it's like your world is very, you train a lot. And even though you might appreciate things from around the world, your experience is quite, you're almost like afraid, right, to take a break from training or to try something else, like, well, if I like this, and will it take me away from dancing, and especially all those questions around like your age and like, this is my prime, this is when I can jump the highest, this is, will I be able to break dance when I'm 45? I don't know. So I remember that after the walk, um, it felt like a spiritual awakening, where it felt like I could trust the cycles of life a lot more, like just being on the ground, seeing the seasons change, walking. And
mm,
it felt like I got in touch with something beyond society's idea of what a human dancer should look like, like dance from 15 to 30. It was like,
mm.
nah, man, humans are designed to, like, the walk was like, we were meant to walk long distances our whole life. We're meant to dance for our whole life. Like, this is such a narrow vision of, you
Yeah.
know, what the hell we're supposed to be doing. Like, come on. So that was really liberating. And then I could
Yeah.
trust the process of just being like, wow, I'm going to have children now. I never
Mm,
pictured it. And it's just kind of like happening. But, um,
mm,
and then after my kids got a little bit bigger, I started putting them into gymnastics. And anyways, it's all like sort of connected, and dance. And then, um, not too long ago, like recently, like about 3 years ago, I've become like a single mom, and I still wanted them to train, even though like things got a little tighter at home,
mm,
and so we realized, like, one day it was like on Saturday, Zahara does competitive training. She's 12, and so does Morpheus, and then Khadija had dance, and Mommy had handstand class. Like, we were just like all had our little training, and I was like, okay, kind of just came together that we're all
mm.
taking a little bit of time to train on Saturday, and I looked back and I was like, okay, we're here, we're doing it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something quite, yeah, nice about it all lining up on Saturday as well, like feeling like it's your time.
Yeah,
Each of your own individual time, which is super nice.
huge. It's
Yeah.
huge.
All of the whole journey sounds incredible, and I hadn't realized how much walking was a part of your practice, but it's super interesting, and even hearing about like recent experiences as well.
Mm.
Super interesting. And now I actually see why you walk a lot in Greece as well. Connecting the dots. But it's super interesting, and this idea of this conversation around like what what we're meant to do as humans, like what the
Yeah.
original version of this was. Like I even tonight I was teaching some 12-year-olds and we were talking about just a simple like movement and kind of unpacking like how to make it feel better. And I started to get super nerdy about it and I was like, okay, how to keep the phrasing digestible for 12-year-olds, but like, guys, this is how we're meant to move. Like, it's okay to release some of the conditioning of like what is dance and how are we meant to look and yeah, what is success in
Mm,
dance?
mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. What is
Totally.
success in life? Blah, blah, blah. But like,
Yeah.
no, like, yeah, to strip
Oh, yeah.
back
Well,
to,
I think I definitely can relate to that. Definitely.
mm,
Yoga was a break from the aesthetics and it was a break from the performance. And it was just like, how does this feel? And what's your edge when it's not adrenaline and all of that, you know?
mm, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. What's your edge when it's not adrenaline? That's a really nice question. Really nice question.
um,
Yeah. And I think it's interesting, like, as a facilitator, when you can see both things happening, and like, I'm seeing it in young kids at the moment, like,
mm,
where they're hitting the adrenaline and how to kind of hopefully invite them into releasing that pressure,
mhm,
or but then equally how some of the kids are the ones reminding me like, ah, maybe there's a way to soften or to find a more comfortable path or more joyful path or yeah, it's
mhm,
cool.
mhm.
Mm.
Wow, that's great. You guys are influencing each other.
Yeah. Yes.
Hmm.
I also, as you were speaking about like at one point your perspective or thoughts around yoga and it being hard, it made me think about like this coming from a dance training, how then it's something I think I always connected to quite quickly because I think I just needed it extremely at the time that it came into my life. And so it just aligned very well. But I have a sister as well who's a dancer and
Ah,
is now finding her way towards yoga. But at one point, I think also was like, oh my gosh, no, like yoga is too hard and too boring. And I was like, no, but it's so much quote unquote easier than dance. And I think
mhm,
it was for me like emotionally easier.
mm.
But then like the difference in the physicalities between the practices and obviously you
Yes.
can find so much variety in both movement forms, but I think as a younger dancer and trying out yoga, there's maybe something about like the sitting in postures, the strength that's required in a different way than in a
Like,
dance practice. And it's yeah, it's interesting to unpack like how these journeys kind of a lot like yeah, when a new movement practice maybe comes in when you're someone who has had movement in your life from a young age as you have, but then equally how the yeah, how the body responds to it and when it starts to listen or when it starts to
takes
protest a
time.
bit because it's not what you're
Yeah.
used to and vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel I'm very lucky because in Montreal we have a lot of circus artists, we have dancers, we've got a lot of athletes, people with many different modalities coming in to train or practice. So,
Mm.
first of all, teaching to that group of people is very exciting, and you got to like keep it a little bit, up to the time. you can't
Yeah.
really just sit back. So that's forced me to like, keep learning myself, keep adding things and researching. But also to see different, not just bodies, but like, like a lot of martial artists coming in and, and they, even if there's similarities, like you're saying, like, we're used to working our feet, we know what a plie is, but they emphasize it different, knees more
Hmm.
parallel, or, like I can definitely understand when there's dancers in the class and they have a lot of external rotation in their thighs, but can't hold a block between the thighs. Like I understand technically, but I definitely, I think most of the dancers that come here are usually not coming to add more training, but more to restore, charge, do a movement practice that's more for them, really to just feel good. Maybe
Mm,
before perform that night, it's like a lot of, sometimes you just want to do something that's not going to overexert you. Although the yoga we teach here is pretty hardcore. Um, Still, it's not a show, it's not like do it right. It's like do
yeah.
it. I come back down if you don't want, it's
Yeah.
different.
Different headspace.
Yes.
Yeah. And even like, I guess the lens on even from taking your classes for a week, even the practice is super physical. But then I remember this one moment very vividly. Like we were going up to a handstand and you were speaking about the placement of the hips. And
Hmm.
if the top hip was opening, maybe there's something you're trying to escape emotionally, or if the second leg isn't coming up. And I remember just being like, ah, this huge like emotional exhale. But equally like, yeah, we're doing these handstands over and over, and yes, it's quite physical, but the somehow in that moment I was like, ah, this is what yoga is all about. Like something highly physical, something maybe intense, but what is it doing for the body? What is it doing for the mind? Like, what are you holding? Yeah, and I think in that moment I just was like, I could sit and nerd out about this handstand for so long, first of all. And second of all, like, this is why people come to a yoga class. Like, it's to find out something else about themselves or to release something from themselves or to, yeah.
Really, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
miss you
want to
guys.
we want to learn, we want to grow, and like the movement investigation is one part, it's kind of like the anchor. It's helping you find somewhere to play, but there's all kinds of other things going on. Definitely.
Yes.
We just did a advanced sequence teacher training maybe like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now. And we would have different themes, right? We would like say, okay, today's going to be like a back bending workshop or a twisting workshop. And one part is to like show the drills that you would do to warm up, but
Mm,
also to explain, like you're saying, like why would somebody resist opening, for example, and like the body as a map in understanding um like the different like how we hold different emotions in different parts of the body. And so
mm,
because it's not a performance and it's not only like an aesthetic practice, um, and we're asking people to listen to their body and like what arises when you're in this pose, what does it stimulate, what does it repress, what does it put you in touch with. So like different postures will wake up, you know different reactions, and it
yeah.
can be the physiology, it can be like the biomechanics of the pose, right? It could be like, you've never moved your hip that way, so you feel tight, but it could also be like your hips hold your emotions. And so when you do a deep hip opener, you're asking yourself to get in touch with them and bring them up, you know?
Mm.
And yeah, I think that that was definitely attractive as a dancer to be like, oh wow, body as friend, you know, body as friend, but like listen to my body. Like I know
What?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like tell your body what to do. That's about it.
Yeah. And we'll maybe ask one more question before we close. Um, I guess maybe, yeah, I'm curious about what's exciting you
Mm,
in your movement, like in your own personal movement practice at the moment.
okay. I've been working on something. And I didn't want to like I didn't want to tell myself I was working on a new piece. I just wanted to see what would happen like if I showed up and went to my studio space and I kind of used my yoga like how plan a class and I tried to like use that as a discipline towards my choreography. So for example, I kept noticing, okay, I'm always either on the ground or on the wall. So I'm like, okay, I have like I like to work with resistance. So I'm like, okay, let's without over choreographing, let's just start to see what do I have, you know, like after a few months. And so I'm very proud. I've got like my three little areas now. Like I've been basically doing like video work, but um like a kind of a little bit like an illusion thing where maybe the material that I'm going to do on the floor is also going to look like I'm on a wall, and then when I'm on the wall it kind of looks like I'm
Mhm.
on the floor depending on how you film it. And
Yeah.
then a lot of like because I do like a lot of handstand stuff and I still do a lot of breaking stuff, so it, it it's going to kind of play with that a little bit playing with illusion, but mainly um I want to work. Yeah, I like working with the wall and the floor, and it is definitely influenced by everything that we're like witnessing in Palestine and all the um, yeah, like how I've just been. I don't. I'm just gonna say it, but basically, like one time when I went to the wall, I felt like like I hit like I hit the wall and I went down
Mm.
and I had this flash of like somebody else coming in and continuing the piece that I didn't get to do. And and it reminded me of like some of the stuff I've been hearing about through people in Palestine saying like um, you know like they're trying to break them down, but the struggle for freedom continues. You know, even when their life when this one person I remember she was saying like even if I go, like my kids are going to keep fighting for freedom. You know, and so I've been inspired by that and trying to say like even if you kind of don't see the end of it, what you're working on, your fight for love or freedom, somehow like just trying to do it, keep it alive, even if you
Mm.
don't in your lifetime, it might there's a continuation, you know, even when your body leaves this place, you know. I don't know if that's like
Yeah.
it's not fully defined and developed yet, but yeah. So
Oh, wow.
in Greece this summer, I asked my sister if she would do a duet with me because she used to be a wall dancer too. like, no, but maybe. And then I asked another dancer I used to dance with. She also does not live in Montreal, and she says like the logistics are a bit hard if to do it, but she at least wanted to be like my backbone. We could talk about the idea a little bit together.
Yeah.
So it's still in that fit. So far, it's still like a solo, but I do picture somebody else coming in. Uh,
Wow. It sounds incredible already.
I don't
And
know. If I send it to you, you gotta tell me what you think.
yes, definitely. But also, yeah, like I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens with it. I think it is, I had chills when you were speaking, and
Mhm.
the way you described like the moment hitting the wall as well. I think it's so interesting when you have this, when we have these callings to like get in the studio and we're not quite sure what it is. We don't want to put like too much pressure on something that isn't there yet, but like the body knows there's something.
Mm,
The when you can't say no and you're like, I just have to explore this thing.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think this sentiment as well of like just being able to know that the energy towards like this fire, like yeah, that you're to not give up because we don't see the end is,
Hmm.
yeah, something that I think is can touch people of all ages and in all ways. And I really like it's why we make art, but like in the way that I think, for me at least as well, listening to you speak about it, I was like, I feel like I can reach a lot of different people in a way that maybe helps merge the worlds where people feel like disconnected of like, oh, I'm not there, I don't quite understand what it is or how to help or where to put my
Hmm.
energy, but can wrap or like start to understand that like even with distance or a completely different life situation, they can still contribute
Hmm.
something towards a
Oh yeah,
bigger.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
am sending you all the energy and support and logistical, financial,
Thank you.
platform, spaces, everything.
Thank you.
Sounds, I want to see the piece made, so so much support in it. And yeah, thank you for sharing as well. Super
Thank
interesting.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
I think I will wrap there and like allow you to get back to your day, your busy day. I'm aware that it's yeah, kind of the middle of the day for you as well. But I want to say like a big thank you. And yeah, your openness and energy and warmth. I feel it through the call as I expected, like in the best way. And yeah, it's nice to hear your reflections in these wild times that life is, but
Yeah.
equally like I guess I appreciate as well the well-roundedness of your lens. I think it's super valuable and thank you so much for joining and for sharing and inviting other movers into your headspace as well.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much to Anna Smutny for joining me for episode 7 of Conversations for the Moving Self. Each week, I am more and more inspired by all of these incredible movement and well being practitioners that are joining me. And it's such a pleasure to just continue to reflect on the ongoing journey that it is to pursue a career in movement and well being. So biggest thanks to Anna and to all the listeners. Stay tuned for the next episodes coming up on every Saturday and guest announcements on Tuesdays. Please comment, follow, and subscribe. It really does help. It's super important for us to get off our feet as a new podcast. And finally, I wanted to share there is 2 links in the details of this episode for resources to donate to Palestine if you wanted to contribute anything. One link is to Mosba, a Palestinian nurse that Anna has been in contact with who's preparing food, and the other is a more formal organization that is also making food. Please follow along for all of the upcoming episodes and sending you all warm wishes. Thank you so much from CMS. Lots of love.